Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, in this quick live, the topic for today is going to be money is a mindset. So, what does that even mean? So, people watching the live or the replay, feel free to comment down below if you can relate to the topic. Maybe some of you already know what this means. Comment down below, and I'll be happy to read your comments and respond. So, this live is about something I saw actually from another content creator, YouTuber, and then her posts. There were two lessons that hit me. And the topic or the title of her video was Millionaire Explains Middle Class Habits Keeping You in the Rat Race. So I'm going to share my screen over here. And what I'm going to share right now is my profile. If you could see it right there, boom. All you have to do is check out my photos, albums, and it's money tips. So over here. So the money tips album, I added two new ones. So related to the topic over here, I'll read it with you. So this is money is a mindset. What does that mean? The lesson that hit me from that video is because here's the truth. Most people aren't broke because of what they earn. They're broke because of how they think. I'm going to make this quick. So, the other lesson that hit me is this because people will say, okay, Martin, what's an example of that? So, I'll show you. So, it's this next line. So, I'd rather build something now that pays me forever than keep buying stuff that makes me feel good for 5 minutes. So, for those of you who can relate, and I won't go too deep into this right now. So, there are different money personalities. To be fair, had to learn that and understand that. So, my money personality is I'm a saver. So, this line resonates with me deeply. Now, there are other money personalities. Comment down below what your money personality is. People watching the live or the replay. So, you could either be a spender, you could be a saver like me. You could be an avoider, or you could be a money monk. So these are the spiritual people who, their downside is they think money is not that important, right? The avoider, they just don't like the topic of money. You probably would have closed this video already by now. The saver has a dark side too. So that's called the hoarder, right? And then the spender, stereotypically, I would say they're the ones who, they keep spending money and they keep running out of money. Now, there actually is a healthy expression of the spender. So I call that the investor. So there's always a healthy and an unhealthy expression of each money personality. So let's go back to the topic. I'd rather build something now that pays me forever then keep buying stuff that makes me feel good for 5 minutes. For some of you, this line might hit hard already, whether it be a motorcycle for me, and it maybe lasted more than 5 minutes, right? 5 days, 5 weeks, 5 months. Some of you, if you're lucky, 5 years. But after a while, that good feeling goes away. So it's just a reminder. Now, what's the mindset of the wealthy, right? Or the millionaires. So they build something that pays them forever. So what's that called? So some of you may have heard terms like a golden goose. So that lays golden eggs, right? And then you only spend the golden eggs. You don't kill the golden goose. Some of you may have heard the term assets. So some of you may have heard the term cash flow or multiple streams of income. Some of you may have heard the term financial freedom or even on a bigger scale, generational wealth. So wealth that would last you a whole lifetime and even the next generation already. So before I end this, some of you may be wondering, What is an example of this? Give me an give me an example, like a real example of this, and I will before I end this live. So the example is this. This is from one of my mentors, Mr. Jong Merida. Some of you may have known or met him. Known to be very thought provoking, very cerebral. So it's usually financial advisors from Philam Life back then, BPI Philam, now known as AIA Philippines. So he has done talks, seminars, he's been a guest speaker for other companies in the financial services industry. So, what is a real example of this, right? What is something that will pay me forever, right? So, the very quick example, and we can go deeper on this on another time. You can just comment down below money if you want to learn more about this. So, there you go. So it's a little bigger. Comment money down below if you like this topic, you want to go deeper, you want to learn more about money. Comment live if you also want to learn, come on a live with me and talk about other topics aside from money, whether it be your health, whether it be your relationships or your purpose in life, not just limited to wealth. Or you can comment clarity call down below if you want to do one on one coaching because you find this information very helpful and you want to take action, you want to make your life better. So, back to the topic over here. How do we do this? So, how do we make our money pay yourself forever? So, very quick example. Do you even know an amount of money that will set you free? So, an amount of money that will make you, that will last forever for the rest of your lifetime. So, very quick example over here for the sake of this short live. For example, you're a doctor or whatever your profession is. You could be a lawyer, you could be self employed, you could be employed a management level or higher, etc., businessman, businesswoman. And let's say you have 50,000 a month income or 50,000 a month expenses for those who are shy to disclose their income. That's around 600,000 pesos every year. So we're here in the Philippines, just for context. So you can always convert that to your own currency. So the short answer is, how much do you need to retire? 15 million pesos. Why? If you put that 15 million pesos in a bond, a cash flow fund, something that is giving you, payouts, whatever you want to call it, dividends, etc. It's giving you 4% interest every year. Then 4% of that 15 million is 600,000 pesos in a year. So 4% interest or whatever you're getting, payout, whatever the term is, 4% of 15 million pesos is 600,000 pesos per year. So if you divide that per month, that's 50,000 pesos a month, enough to cover your expenses. So some people might say, can it be that simple? And the answer is yes. Now, I will quote or share a line because I took this Quantum Leap program, and in the seminars, there's this guy I met, and his line he told me is, investing is boring. And I mean that in a very good way. So over here, it might look very simple. It might look boring even for some of you, but it works. Now, for some of you wondering and might say, 15 million, that amount is so big. That amount looks impossible. Well, let's say you won the lottery. Is it possible? Highly possible. Here in the Philippines, lottery, uh, the winnings are bigger than 15 million. So are your expenses 50,000 a month? A lot of people, it's less. Now, if you're a higher level executive, you're living, a more luxurious life, then you'll need a bigger number, of course. Now, aside from the lottery, where else can you get 15 million? Someone might say inheritance. So it's not limited to ultra high net worth or rich people only. Maybe one of your parents, or, you know, you go through an estate planning process, because I took training on that. So one of the real estate properties from your father or your mother could be farmland, it could be a house and a lot, it could be a condominium. Well, how much does that cost? If you're living in Metro Manila, it could very easily hit 15 million and above, or close to it. Now, if not the lotto inheritance, what could it be? For some of you, it could be your retirement pay, because you've worked in a company for 20, 30, 40 years already, right? So you can set it up. It's becoming more realistic. If you're management level, mancom, your excom level, executive, high level, that number is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's becoming more realistic now. So if not that, your retirement pay, maybe you're younger, maybe you're a businessman, businesswoman. Can you earn that much money in a year? Sometimes even shorter. 15 million, right? Maybe you're a stock trader, right? So you're trading stocks, forex, foreign exchange, maybe even crypto like that. Is it possible to earn 1 million in a month? I've heard people who've done that. So you can earn even more, and that number starts to become more realistic. So I'll end with this one. Why is that important? Why is that number important? Because of this, 99% of all Filipinos are not financially viable until death. What does that mean? They run out of money before they die. And what's the reason for that? It goes back to the title, because it's their mindset. So, do you want to have a money mindset where you pass on generational poverty? Or do you want to have a mindset that will give you not just financial freedom, but you end up passing generational wealth instead? So that's the money mindset of a millionaire or the wealthy. So the downside is, if we don't do this, we end up here in poverty. We run out of money before we die, which is majority of all Filipinos. And it can end up passing intergenerational dependence or poverty. So the last term here from my mentor, Mr. Jong Merida, he called it the bibingka generation, or a sandwich generation. So the way bibingka is cooked here in the Philippines, so it's this local food. Like, if you ever heard of puto, these rice cake dishes, bibingka, like that. They put it in an oven, and there's fire on top and fire below. What does that mean? When you have your own family, you have your own children already, you're financially supporting them below. Now, when your parents start getting older and they're ready at retirement age, if they didn't prepare financially, you end up supporting above your parents as well before they die. So that's happening now in this generation, where if you are the breadwinner earning money, you support your children below, and then you're supporting your aging parents above. And that's a level of financial stress that is like two times, right? It's doubled. And we don't want that to happen. We want the opposite. So let me stop sharing right now, go back first, and I'll end it with that title, which is Money is a Mindset. When we get it down, can it be that simple? Yes. And I just showed it. I just shared it with you guys. If we don't do it, what can happen? Well, you saw, right? Running out of money before we die, and then passing intergenerational dependence, not just poverty, but It's like depending on other people financially, like our lives depend on it. And what a way to live. That's the opposite of freedom, right? You're a slave. So, money is a mindset. As I end this one, if you like this topic, comment money down below. If you still want to learn more about money, so I can make more videos about money, deeper, maybe different lessons, best lessons I have on money. So comment live down below if you love the topic on money, on wealth, but you want to join me for a live like this and talk about something else. Could be about your health, it could be about relationships, it could be about your purpose, something deeper in life. Lastly, if you want help one on one, I do coaching. Comment clarity call down below. Maybe your challenge is way more specific, whether it's money related, whether it's something else related, health, relationships, or purpose in life. Comment clarity call down below or send me a direct message and I'll reach out to you. So thank you. I love you and I will see you next time.